Hello there guys, and welcome to this live stream. This is Q8Pilot, your host for today's show, and today we're going to be taking a closer look at the JustFlight 146 Professional for X-Plane 11. I've done a premiere yesterday. It was a first impressions video. There was a problem with the avionics, but thankfully the folks at JustFlight resolved the issue. I updated the aircraft. It was an issue with the SASL plugin, which is used by some of the X-Aviation aircraft. I want to welcome you guys to the stream today. And we've got with us today, we've got Rourke, is it? And Omari, hello there, my friend, and welcome. We've got Elliot. Elliot, welcome. Waldemar, Walfred, Aviation Nerd, Clem XB, Yamin Noor, hello there my friend, and we've got Dougal, hello there my friend, and welcome. Hey there Scott, how are you doing? Captain Maddie, hello there, and welcome. Yeah, we are flying Aer Lingus, and today we're flying a real-world route. This is a real-world route for this aircraft, and this is the 146-300 variant of the aircraft, which is the largest of them all. And yeah, so what we're going to be doing today is a closer look at the aircraft systems, and we're going to be flying today from Edinburgh from Dublin to Birmingham in the United Kingdom, and we're going to be cruising at about 23,000 feet. And let's get started, folks. Let's go ahead and hop into the cockpit and get things started. All right, so yesterday we've taken a look at all the visuals and we listened to the sounds. Today we are going to program the FMC. Of course, this is the default FMC. A custom one is in the making. We're going to start the aircraft from the cold and dark state. We're going to take off runway 10 here at Dublin, Ireland, and then we'll be on our way. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to head over here to the overhead panel, and we're going to switch the voltage amp to battery 1, start battery 1 and battery 2. We're going to go down here and start the bus ties to auto, DC, and all the switches here are on. And we're going to turn on the APU gen as well. Right. We're going to head over here, and by the way, there are a lot of different tests here that you can perform, such as, APU fire, APU over speed. We can engine APU, stall warning, speed warning, all of that good stuff. So lots of things here that you can test. But we're going to go ahead and turn on the nav lights, and cabin emergency lights are armed. The no smoking sign is in the auto position where we want it to be. Next up, we're going to head over here to the avionics. We're going to turn on yaw damper 1 and 2, the AP master avionics A and B. And now we pretty much have everything ready. We're ready to start the APU, but before we do so, actually, let's go ahead and start the APU. We're going to turn on the left inner pump. We're going to have to check our fuel and then start the APU here. All right, we're just going to wait for the APU. Now, in the meantime, we can go to the default FMS and load our flight plan. So we're going to go to the route menu and select company route list. I've already created the plan off of SimBrief, and this is the one here. Echo India Delta Whiskey to Echo Golf Bravo Bravo, and we're going to select that. We're going to go to departures, and we're going to select our departure today, runway 10 right through the Dixie to Echo departure, and we're going to execute that. Head back to the arrivals, and we are going to select the Dolo 1 Bravo arrival into Birmingham, and we're going to be performing an ILS approach runway 15. There is no transition there, so we're going to execute, go to the Lex page, and make sure there are no discos. There is one here, and there is one here, so let's take care of that first. Execute. Previous page, and I'm not sure why we have this twice, but let me delete this one, bring this one here, and voila. There we go. All right, next up, we are today Aer Lingus 276 service from Dublin to Birmingham, and execute that. We're going to go to VNAV, transition altitude in, I'm not sure what the transition altitude is, so let's say fly now, X-plane, and let's see here. I'm not sure if this information is available here, but we can see departure details. Yeah, for some reason it's no longer shown here. And we don't have the old... Yeah, I'm not sure. If you guys know what the transition altitude would be great at Dublin. Could be 5,000, but I'm not exactly sure. I want to welcome all of you guys who just joined us here. Luke, hello there, my friend, and welcome to the stream. Captain Florida. Hello there, Elliot. Hello there, my friend. All right, so 5,000. Thanks, I thought so. Thank you very much for that. So let's change that to 5,000. 5,000 is done. And next page is the cruise altitude. And we're going to check that here in the operational flight plan. Excuse me. 23,000 feet. 23,000 is set. Unable 9,000 chase, that's fine. And next, transition altitude at burning, I believe, is 6,000. And now we're done. All right, so FMC is programmed and everything is done there. And we are now ready to continue with the power up. What we're going to do is we're going to bring up the checklist. Right. So we've done the flight deck safety, we've done all of that stuff. Before start, safety exterior checks is complete, brakes yellow and park press and temp is set. Thrust levers, fuel is off, hydraulics all off, fuel panel checked and set, that's not done. So let's do that. Let's just quickly grab the amount of fuel required for this flight. 6.2, so 6.4. And we're going to do that via the, there is an, I'm surprised that they actually JustFlight did not provide a payload and balance option. So that's fine. We're just going to come here and put 6,400 and that's good. Done. Resume flight. Fuel is checked. Pressurization. Let's go ahead and check that. So 23,000 feet. We're going to head over here to the pressurization gate. Where is it? There we go. All right, we're going to set this to 23,000, 21, 22, and 23. Cabin altitude is 5,000. And that is set. Ice detect is on, so this is ice protection is turned on. Lights and notices set. Air conditioning is checked. APU air. And let's turn on the packs. We can supply some cold air to the cabin. I really like the sounds on this aircraft. I think they're well made. Air conditioning set. Fasten seatbelt sign is right here. Flow meter is zeroed. I believe this is somewhere here, but I'm not sure how to zero those, so fine. Flight data recorder is, let's remove the flight yoke. It's right there. So I think I've done something. So we can change this. Today is the 21st. Come on. 21st of April 2021. 2021. There we go. Flight recorder is set, nav aids and nav is set. So today we're going to be flying off the FMC. So we're going to need to switch this to RNAV, HS1 and nav. And right before we intercept the localizer, we need to switch to nav, and hopefully things will work. Altimeter and QNH, let's go ahead and set that. And we can grab this from our SimBrief plan. We go to the weather here. Weather is 09010 knots. A few clouds at 1500 feet. Temperature is 11. QNH 1022. Right, 1022 is set. And we are going to head over to this side and set 1022 on this side as well. Perfect. All is good. All right, so we can check now here the MWS. All checks good. And reset the master caution lights. TMS N1 speeds checked and bugs set. All right, so the TMS, excuse me, stands for the thrust management system, and it is located right here. It can be accessed through the control panel as well. So let's go ahead and power it up. So now it's powered, and of course we are going to select all the engines here, but we're going to select takeoff, and now it's going to give us the N1 of 93.7. The temperature is 15. This is the reference temperature, is 15. So we're going to come down here to N1 and set it to 93.7 is about 94. So we need to set these to 94, 94, 94. Now I'll explain to you what does this TMS does. Now, of course, I did not read everything, but I read a little bit about it. And the way they've simulated this is in accordance with the real aircraft. And by the way, this aircraft was modeled based on a real BAe 146 that was pulled out of service. And JustFlight have consulted a real-world pilot on this aircraft to understand what all the buttons do, what all the switches do, and so really a very good rendition of the aircraft. All right. Sorry guys, I'm just not feeling very well tonight. So everything is set here, and this is the takeoff data for the speeds, flaps, and everything. So we're going to be doing flaps 18, and V-rotate is 117. And the nice thing is, if you just click here, it will set all the bugs for you automatically on both sides, which is kind of cool. And by the way, we can do the same thing for the landing. So for the landing reference, just click here and it will set everything up for you. So that's kind of cool. I like that. And now we have the before start checklist completed. All right, let's turn on the radios, and we're going to put this on DME. All right. And we will set our altitude to 23,000 feet. 23,000 is set. Let's go ahead and arm it so that we don't forget. All right, flight directors, we're going to turn them on. All right, and now we can actually go to the starting checklist. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure the APU gen or external power is set, which is set. We're going to turn on the beacon light, which is located right here. And packs and APU air off. If we're starting, the engine anti-ice is on, which it is. All right, so we're going to turn off the packs and we're going to turn off the APU air. Engine anti-ice is already turned on. AC pump is on. Right, AC pump is on. Fuel pumps turned on. Start power. All right, so before we start the engines, we're going to push back out of our position. And we can dismiss this for now. And we'll get back to it once we are ready. All right, let's call the pushback truck.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
I want to welcome all of you guys who's just joined us here on the stream. I'm sorry I haven't really been taking a look too much at the chat, just so that we can configure the aircraft for departure, and hopefully we'll have some time during cruise to chat a little bit about the aircraft and explain and all things flight simulation. Max M, how are you doing, my friend? Would this plane work nicely as a VOR to VOR as well? Absolutely, absolutely. Flies perfectly well. VOR to VOR navigation is simulated very well, and you can definitely fly it VOR to VOR.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Ah, we need to close the doors there. There we go. Much better. Just beautiful aircraft. Right. We're being pushed upwards. You can see the rotating beacon.
Tow connected and
Nav
bypass
lights.
pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Did we release the parking brake? Ah, there we go.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
All right, so we have received our clearance now to start the engines. And does it have INS? No, it does not have INS, Bill. Rashid Yassin, good evening. I made it just in time. Hello there, welcome. All right, so we're going to start with the engines. And to start the engines, what we're going to do is we are going to head right over here. And we can bring up our checklist again. We're just going to leave it here. All right, so start power is on normal. Start master is on. And we're going to start with the engine number 4. And there we go. And we're going to watch N1 rise to about 10%. And now we can introduce fuel. Oops. There we go. And engine number 4 is now starting. Well, the frames are actually pretty good. This aircraft is really FPS friendly.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
All right, let's set the parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
So yeah, I think in terms of the FPS, I think it's FPS friendly. But then, you know, my machine is not really a good measure because, you know, I've got a very powerful machine. So there we go. All right. So, but yeah, I think they do advertise that it is FPS friendly, and All right, here we go. And we're going to start engine number 3. Come on. There we go. Engine number 3 is now starting. We're just going to check all of these and go to the next one after start. Leave it there. All right, looks like we have a good start on engine number 3. Let's go ahead and start the engine number 2. And engine number 2 is starting.
Disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
All right, and we are going to head over here and start engine number 2. Let's see, engine number 2 is stabilizing. And finally, let's start the engine number 1. There we go. And engine number 1 is now starting. The thing is, I'm not sure if it's my sound settings or something else, but I can't hear the engines in the interior view. This is the engine sounds from the exterior. Have all engines running now. All right, perfect. So we are ready to go now. And let's go ahead and bring up the checklist and perform the after start checklist. All right, so start power to normal. Start power to normal. Start selector and master off. Let's do that. And that's turned off. Engine anti-ice is not required. Generators are on. Brake fans to auto. Brake fans are right here, folks. Hydraulics are turned on and check. Heaters. The heaters are here. All kinds of heaters on this aircraft. Packs and cabin air. APU air is on, and we're going to turn on the packs. TMS is already set. So here's a quick look again at the TMS. As you can see, we have it set at takeoff. It's powered on, all 4 engines. Now, what the TMS does, when the way the toga works is as you move the thrust levers forward, you get to the point where there is sufficient power, and then the TMS would take over and reach the 94% of N1 that we've set. We'll see that as we go. We just need to move the thrust levers to about the midpoint here, and then the TMS would take over. All right, the doors are closed, ground equipment removed, transponder as required. Let's turn on our comm radios. And, we forgot the spoilers. All right, spoilers are turned on. Park brake, brake fan selected on auto. All right, we are now going to set flaps. Flaps 18 for departure. You can hear the sounds. Just look at that. Beautiful. Really nice aircraft. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, we are ready now to go before takeoff. So let's taxi to the runway. Parking brake is released, and we're just going to give it some power and head over to the runway. Before we actually can turn on the autopilot, we're going to come down here and make sure the yaw damper 1 and 2 are on, but you have to always make sure that they are turned on here as well in order to be able to turn it on down there. So, and by the way, you can put this quad code here, and you can also put the flight ID if you so you can put this one here 200, the squawk code, so you can just change this, but you can also go on the aircraft ID and you can type in whatever you want here. So we're just gonna leave it as it is now. All right, let's give it some power. Just look at the engines, the wing. Really, JustFlight has done a very good job with this aircraft. By the way, the runway turn-off lights should be on, which they are now. I'm not sure if this is a designated taxiway, but hey, it's the closest way to the runway, so we're going to take it. There we go. There's quite a bit of a workload to get this aircraft started and ready for takeoff, and you continue actually to do things as you know, as you fly the aircraft. Perfect 99. I'm not paying for that taxi light. Nathaniel, hello there, my friend. Tom, David, thank you, my friend, and welcome. Glenn, hello there, my friend. Welcome. Alex the Aviator, welcome, my friend. Really, you guys, thank you very much for being on the stream tonight. Now, I haven't read too much on the autopilot, but I've read enough to be able to operate the autopilot for this flight. There are a lot of things I do not know. There is a lot to learn about this aircraft, and it looks like JustFlight has really implemented very deep simulation of the aircraft systems. So definitely I'm falling in love with this aircraft just from a system simulation perspective. I think it is one that is very well simulated. The manual, it has a wealth of information, and everything is explained in some detail, which gives you an appreciation both of the aircraft and the actual work done by JustFlight, specifically on this bird. Now, of course, folks, this preview copy has been graciously provided to me by JustFlight to preview the aircraft here on the channel. But for those of you who know me, I do not say anything I do not actually believe in. So yeah, this aircraft is very well simulated according to what I've read in the manual. So if the manual is accurate, then this aircraft is pretty accurate, I tell you. Alright, this is the hold short point at runway 10, and we're going to bring the aircraft to a complete stop. Let me put my phone on. There we go. Alright, parking brake is set, and let's bring up the before takeoff checklist. Brakes, yellow and green, checked yellow. Flaps selected and checked. Flight instruments, checked. Full up, full down, full left, full right. Pedal, full right, full left. And those are checked. Flight director is turned on. Trims set and checked. Config, this is your config button here. All is good. Nav aids and transponder is set. We can set the transponder here to TA-RA. Continuous ignition A and B as required, so we're going to put the engines on continuous here. The cabin is secure. Radar, we can turn the radar here. There we go. That's the map. That works. And AC pump on. Now, it says AC pump on. It is actually in the on position. Now, in the after takeoff checklist, somewhere I saw PTU off. So I suppose that the PTU should be on for takeoff, but I'm not exactly sure. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Lights and strobes, we can head over here. And let's see. Strobes are on. And landing lights are on. Are they on or off? Ah. Okay, they're on now. And we leave the rest here. TMS is already set. Controls checked. MWS is checked. All right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Parking brake is released. Alex the Aviator says building a full cockpit for the 737 Classic. That's a really nice project, and that's something that I'd like to do at some point.
Approaching 1.
Alright, so I'm going to show you now, guys, what I meant by the TMS and what it does. Alright, we are at runway 10 and we are ready to go. So now watch what happens here. Let me just set the view. Alright, so we're going to point our attention to the thrust levers here. And I'm just going to add it, go right about here. Now watch what happens. This is the TMS actually taking the throttles forward. And it's going to take it to 97%, which is what we've set here.
80 knots cross-checked. B1.
Rotate.
B2. Positive rate to climb, gear up.
Alright, trim the aircraft a bit. Alright, very well. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to bring up the checklist. After takeoff, gear is up. Flaps are going up. TMS as required. Engine air is on, which it is. APU air is off. Okay, packs are on. Pressurization checked. Alright, at this point we are going to engage the autopilot. We have the altitude armed, And we are going to turn, let's see, autopilot is turned on. We're going to go to LNAV. LNAV will follow the flight plan in the FMS. And then we're going to go to, let's see, we are, no, that's too much. So let's pitch down a bit. Right about here, we can click on VS. So vertical speed is locked now, and we're going to continue to climb to reduce the throttle a bit here. All right, let's bring up the checklist. After takeoff is done, climb. Altimeter set and required AC pump is off. That's the AC pump is off. PTU is off. Brake fans auto off. APU stop. So we're going to stop the APU. Ice protection as required. We don't need it. Light and notices as required. We don't need them. So we're done. The climb checklist is complete. And now we continue to climb to 23,000 feet. So if you were actually doing a VOR to VOR flight, then you would actually have this little switch on nav. And we're going to need this, by the way, for intercepting the ILS. And Captain Canada, hello there, my friend, and welcome. Alright, so we continue our climb. We're approaching 10,000 feet. We're going to go ahead and turn off the landing lights, runway turn off lights. And we can also turn off the fasten seatbelt signs. And now, from this point forward, our speed is falling. Should fix the speed. And we're going to do about 250 knots. Yeah, I think XP Realistic Sounds could be this one here. There we go. Oh, that's much better. All right, we continue our climb, and here is some wing views for you guys. Good evening, Danny. How are you doing, my friend? (15,000 feet). And we can take a look here at our flight. We are still at Dixon. I'm not sure why it's got this twice. You know what? Let me go ahead and delete this one. And we're going to delete that one. God, I hate the default FMC. There we go. Execute. All right, that looks better. The platform altitude today is 2,500 feet at Birmingham. And yeah, all is looking good. By the way, we need to set the barrel reference to standard. So 29902. And the same thing on this side, 29902 is now set. All's looking good. We are at about 250 knots. Now the flight plan, I'm not sure it says 27, but we're not going to go we're going to go to 23,000 feet. That's going to be the final cruise altitude today. And we can actually take a look at Sim Toolkit Pro, and that's us right there. Right here, this is Dixon. And we're heading to the next waypoint in our flight plan. I absolutely love Sim Toolkit Pro. Really, the new changes have made it so much better. All is looking good. L to the Q and chat. Hope everyone is doing well. Flying myself offline. Happy flying there, my friend. Captain Sim, hello there, my friend, and welcome. Glad to have you, Captain Canada. Glad to have you on the stream tonight. Makes it spicier to have you on board. All right, 1,000 to go. I have no idea when the aircraft is going to be released, but maybe in 10 days or so. Right, we're coming up to 10,000. Ah, we did not harm this for some reason. All right, so now it should stop. Ooh, that's XP realistic. All right, so we're getting there now. It should stabilize at 23,000 feet. And we can reduce our speed a bit. Reduce power. Let's bring up the checklist. There is no cruise checklist, so we are good there. Just need to maintain the speed. And let's take a look at our flight plan. So, if we go to cruise descent, so there's nothing on, on the top of descent. So what we're going to do, it looks like the top of descent is going to be here at Dublin, but what we can do is consult the operational flight plan, and we can take a look here. So that's the top of climb, and the top of descent is exactly at the Nucan. Yeah, what does it say here? Yeah, that's where we begin the descent. So at Ampit, we're going to begin the descent. Actually, what I'll do, just because I'm very unfamiliar with the aircraft, and our speed is too much. And I do want to make sure that we are at the platform altitude. So what we'll do is once we are at Dublin here, we're going to begin the descent. 23 to 2,500. Yeah. (21, 2,500). So 60, about 70 nautical miles out, we should begin the descent so that we are at the platform altitude. And if we calculate this here, we've got 2619. Yeah, definitely somewhere here we should begin our descent. So we're looking good now. Our speed is way too much. So let me just bring this bit here and reduce speed. All right. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The JustFlight BAe 146 Professional. Absolutely gorgeous aircraft. Hey, Emma, how are you doing, my friend? By the way, the Madrid airport that you provided me a copy of is absolutely gorgeous. Very, very good. Very nicely done. We are, ladies and gentlemen, over the United Kingdom now, where my family is traveling at the moment. So I'm pretty much home alone. No, thank you, Emma, for providing me really with a copy of the airport. I've done some flights there. It's a really nice airport. It's huge. I never actually knew that that Madrid airport was that big. Captain Canada, yeah, absolutely. Party time, my friend. Absolutely, lots of flying. Family's gone. And when the cat's away, the mice will play. All right, we are, ladies and gentlemen, at 23,000 feet. And let me consult SimToolkit Pro for the ILS frequency at our destination at Birmingham. So we're arriving runway 15. Elevation at Birmingham is 339 feet. ILS Cat 3 is 110.10, which is already set, and the course is 146, which I'm going to set now. And we're going to set the frequency also on the co-pilot side. So we're going to say 110 decimal, oh come on, decimal 10, and the approach course is 146. There we go, and that's set. Perfect. By the way, I need to start, doing this, I pick up these bad habits and I need to undo them. So the heading bug is now corrected. All right, let's take a look here. We are at Bassett, and we are not very far from the top of descent point, which is right about here. We're going to begin our descent. We should have sufficient altitude to clear the 23,000 feet all the way to 2,500. Let's bring up some panel lights here. Panel flawed. Ooh, I don't know what happened to the frames there. The lights seem to brought down the frames for some reason. Oh wow. Strange, huh? Yeah, but looks like the frames are suffering a bit. Not sure why. Yeah, Captain Canada, absolutely. It does. It definitely does. Yeah. I'm not sure what happened to the frames there, but yeah, it looks like it's intermittent. Now it's all right. But for a minute there, it was. By the way, we can open the door here and look at the passenger cabin in case you guys haven't seen my first impressions video. So the passenger cabin is fully modeled. And you can open the doors from within the inside of the aircraft, so from the passenger cabin, you can definitely open the doors. All is looking good. Now, before the descent, before we begin we are, by the way, beginning the descent very shortly. And before we do so, we are going to start reducing our speed a bit. Yeah, the texturing is pretty neat for sure. Can move the seat forward, backward. By the way, the oxygen system is also there. We forgot to do the oxygen check. And you've got all your flap speeds here. So flaps 18, 200 knots, 24, 170, 160, and 150, 433, which is full flaps. All right, so let me explain to you guys a little bit about what we're going to do once we arrive into Birmingham. We are currently, the altitude is now set. Now, GSL is the glide slope and VL is VOR lock. Okay, this is the back course lock. We're not going to use this. This is, of course, self-explanatory. This is heading, IS is the speed. VNAV is actually, according to the manual, is not operational on this aircraft. So we're going to not worry about it. VS is vertical speed. Now, what we're going to do when we arrive into Birmingham, when we are at our approach, our platform altitude, the ILS frequency is already set here, so we will be able to see this here once we switch this little guy to nav mode, and then we're going to head on VOR lock. That is going to lock us to the ILS. But then for the lateral movement of the aircraft, we need to hit on the glide slope, and that will start taking the aircraft down towards the runway. So this is glide slope, this is VOR lock, and they're two separate things that need to be operated. I haven't tried this yet, but that's what I've read in the manual, and hopefully it will work as advertised. All right, we are going to start our descent momentarily. So our speed is good. So what we're going to do is we are going to set this all the way down to our platform altitude of 2,500 feet. Oh, come on. There we go. 2,500 is now set. And we are going to take a note of the... Let's bring up Sim Toolkit Pro, and we're going to take... oh, what happened here? Huh. That's strange. Oh, I guess it's the direction of the sun. Man, look at orbits. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to begin the descent. I wanted to check the altimeter, which is right there. Altimeter is 1023. And we can begin the descent now. We actually look at the operational flight plan. Yeah, we are right down here. So quite a way. Still, we need to be at 20,000 here, so good time to begin our descent. We are going to start by saying pitch down. And now, as you can see, we're starting to pitch down. At about 1,000. We're going to give it just a little more, one more. And we're going to go to VS. We're going to reduce our speed here. All right. Now let's go ahead and bring up the checklist, and we're going to descend. PTU is on. PTU is on. Pressurization is set. Briefing is complete. Ice protection as required. Landing data check and bug sets. And we can do this right here. As you can see now, all the bugs are checked. We're going to be doing full flaps today, flaps 33, and the VREF is 109. Perfect. Well, looking good there. All right, so nothing much really for the approach. So altimeters, lights, APU as required, brake fans, fuel panel, cabin, and then radio altimeter is cross-checked, and then it's the landing checklist. So I just kind of like to read to see what we're, what kind of workload is involved as we arrive. AC pump is auto on, gear is down, brake yellow unchecked. Lights is required, flap set for landing, cabin is secure, ice protection as required, APU air as required, engine air impacts as required, TMS disconnect by 2,000 feet. Okay, all right, let's head back here, and the next checklist is the approach checklist. 20,000 feet for 2,500, and this is now selected on the DME position. And once we are in closer proximity, we should start seeing the distance to the ground speed and distance to the runway. It will be displayed right here. Speed. I want to see some speed brake action on this. Yeah, hopefully we'll do that. Absolutely. Just look at that. I love X-Plane. Brilliant aircraft, really. So far this year we've had the Beluga, and now we've got this aircraft, which I think is a brilliant aircraft. Right, let's take a look at our flight plan. We are at 15, 19, so 33, 35, 37, 37, about 44. And we are at 18,000 feet. I'm going to increase our rate of descent. All right, and arm vertical speed again. And we're going to reduce power. This should allow us to descend a bit faster. And we want to actually descend now. We want to reduce our speed to about 220 knots or so. Probably in the next flight, I'm going to do a VOR to VOR to just kind of show you guys something different. By the way, you can, down here, let me show you this. So this is the distance. Now you can see the DME. So as you can see now, you have the ground speed, and we have the miles until we are at the runway. And this is the view. You can click this for VOR ADF, or you can do this. So you have the ADF needle and the VOR needles. Looking, you'll have two needles. Now, of course, they're aligned, so you can't see them. But there's a dotted line, and there is the big needle. So one is the ADF, and one is the VOR. And yeah, so we are now reducing our speed. Let me use the speed brake just a little bit here to reduce the speed to about 220 knots. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, unfortunately, guys, there's nothing I can do about that. Oh boy. Well, yeah, that happens. That happens. I'm just really don't know what to do now. All right. Yeah, it does happen to the best of us. Well, I'm really sorry about that, guys, but there is nothing I can do. X-Plane has unfortunately crashed. Let me just bring up the sim again, and we'll have some final remarks. I really wanted to show you the landing and how to use the ILS, but just give me a second. Well, folks, X-Plane is loading again, so there isn't really much that I can do. I want to see the landing. Yeah, unfortunately. Thank you very much, Captain Canada, for your note. I saw it. Yeah, I was planning on showing you guys something, a complete flight today, but unfortunately, things have not really panned out as I planned, but hopefully I will do a video during the weekend, which by the way is on Friday and Saturday. So probably tomorrow night I will create a video, tutorial video of the aircraft, of the BAe 146, so that you guys, once the aircraft is released, you'll have something to refer to in order to fly the aircraft. So yeah, we are loaded back at Dublin airport in Ireland. These things happen, unfortunately, especially with an aircraft that is still not finished, still in beta. So this is, by the way, the Aerosoft Dublin Airport version 2, which is a nice airport that I would recommend. So yeah, well, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. I think it's been fun, and hopefully in the next video I will I'll make shorter videos, like part 1, part 2, where I show the startup from cold and dark, and then setup, takeoff, cruise, landing, so that we avoid this while the aircraft is still being ironed out for release. So Yeah, definitely, Captain Canada. I'll definitely do it. So I'll either do a one full video, one full tutorial, or I will do it in parts depending on how much time I get during the weekend. Once again, guys, really thank you very much for tuning in tonight, and I do apologize for on behalf of Laminar Research and maybe JustFlight. But yeah, it's been fun. I really enjoyed I enjoyed the stream while it lasted. I hope you guys did the same. And until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other. And I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye for now.